And that letter is where we begin here at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jolene Cheney, and it was written and then rewritten.
Right. I'm Kevin Ogle. It targets everything from education funding to your property taxes, even abortion. News 4's Lately Zhang has the details new at 6.
The Canadian County Republican Party says they weren't surprised to have pushback on a first draft letter to lawmakers, now tweaked and finalized before they return to session. In their words, it's a conversation that needs to be had.
When it violates life, liberty, or property, I have to stand up as an elected official in the party and say our government is getting it wrong.
Andrew Lopez, speaking as chairman of the Canadian County Republican Party, the group behind this letter addressing issues like abortion, property tax, and educational funding. Its original draft stating in part, quote, a better pathway would be to abolish public education, which is not a proper role of government. That exact language no longer in its final version.
We charge property tax to the citizens, and if you do not pay, you lose your property. That means we have zero property rights. It means we're renters in the state of Oklahoma. And that's why we need to eliminate the property tax. Not saying that public education will go away, but we need to find a proper way to fund it if it shall exist.
Ways, he says, like endowments and sponsorships. The group also suggesting legislation would require school districts to direct at least 65% of their annual spend to the classroom.
Really, you need to take that in context and look big picture across the nation. There aren't states that are spending 65% in the classroom.
Sean Heim with the Oklahoma State School Boards Association says that ask is not just vague, but it's been brought up in the past.
It didn't get any traction nationally or in Oklahoma because it's an arbitrary number with no real definition. You have local school boards looking at what they need, and the idea of spending, quote, 65% or 60% or a number in the classroom means what are you going to eliminate? Are you going to eliminate counselors, teacher assistants, assistant principals?
What we're pushing for is to challenge the idea that we just keep pouring money into education without getting down to the finer details and saying, okay, where is this money going? Why isn't education improving?
Moving forward, all parties involved are asking the hard questions.
And how do we improve education in Oklahoma? How do we work with Governor Stitt on his goal to be top 10 in education, for our teachers to be #1 in the region?
At the state capitol, Lily Zhang, Oklahoma's News 4.
Thank you, Lily. We also reached out to the Canadian County Democratic Party on their plans and whether they will also send a letter to the legislature. We haven't heard back yet.